Hello everyone and welcome back to the PPL. This is the last week, week 11 of the PPL, and I'm in Division 2. My name is RTK, and this week we are facing Chi, the amazing Chi, and his, can't even remember, Newcrustle United, I think his name is. But yes, he brought Crocodile, Ambipom, Tentacruel, Delmise, Skarmory, and Kyurem Black. He did not bring his Florges. I was really worried about that. He does have a Florges that he could potentially have. As you guys can see, I brought Nidoqueen that has Stealth Rock, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Ice Beam with the Black Sludge with 252 in HP, 208 in Defense, Modest Nature with 48 in Special Attack. Next I brought the Raikou with the leftover Shiny Raikou with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, and the Rash Nature because I can afford to bring it because I'm gonna still be outspeeding the Kyurem Black unless it's Choice Scarfed. I outspeed a lot of the other things, even his Tentacruel. I don't believe I outspeed the Tentacruel if I'm base 100. If it's full speed, I think I speed tie with it. Then I'm bringing Tapu Fini, standard defensive Tapu Fini with Haze, Defog, Nature's Madness, Moonblast. This can pretty much take any hit from the Kyurem Black as long as it's not a Fusion Bolt. I can't even remember the move, sorry. If it doesn't have much investment in attack, then I can take a Fusion Bolt pretty well. Then I have the Dragonite. This is kind of just a mon that I brought. I didn't know. It definitely worked better than Kartana did, but I don't know if it worked better than Frostlass. I just kind of brought it to put some pressure on. It's an Adamant, Dragonite, Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Iron Head, and Extreme Speed in case the in case the Florges came and Iron Head. I can just set up and Dragon Claw. It's everything pretty neutrally except the Skarmory. I'm kind of walled by that. I have the Yachi Berry too, just in case he wants to have a cheeky HP Ice on Delmise or something. Then I have an offensive Arcanine with Life Orb, Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Extreme Speed, and Agility. In retrospect, I should have just brought Morning Sun instead of Extreme Speed, because if I have the Agility, it's not gonna matter. And for this thing to sweep anyways, I need to get rid of the Crocodile so it doesn't intimidate me, and get rid of the Tentacruel and make sure the Skarmory Sturdy is broken so I can just straight up one-shot it. Then I have Defense Porygon 2 with Magic Coat, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Recover, and Analytic with Eviolite. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Let me see if I can find where this battle starts very quickly. I believe I spent some time trying to record this live, and it fudged up. So I'm gonna get this battle started now. So we have Chi issuing a challenge, and I'm gonna lead off with my Nidoqueen as he is going to lead off with his Crocodile. Now, this is a fine matchup. I can take an Earthquake from this thing, unless it's like Adamant Choice Band. I can't take an Earthquake, but I'm just gonna fire off, I believe I just fire off an Ice Beam here, as he knocks off my Black Sludge. Yeah, I do go for the Ice Beam, and it's gonna do a hefty chunk to him, and he doesn't show any leftovers, so I'm thinking maybe he's a Z-move. Oh, and I don't remember if he was Z-move Crook or not. Maybe he's choiced Crook or potentially banded Crook. I'm not quite sure. I know. Oh yeah, that's right. He was Super Z-move Crook. That's the possibility that he had. So I go into my Dragonite, predicting him to swap out, but he actually goes into Tentacruel. I'm just gonna go for damage here, and because I'm Adamant, he's got max speed, or at least a lot of speed investment in his Tentacruel for him to outspeed me like that. And I get some giant damage off, showing he's not physically defensive at all, so it just kind of makes it a larger difference. So he goes into Skarmory. It's a safe play for him because the Skarmory kind of walls me. That Dragon Claw literally does nothing. He does have the leftovers, so that's going to be a bit of an issue for Arcanine. I just have to make sure that Sturdy's broken. Potentially I could get Stealth Rocks up with Nidoqueen. Potentially, but you never know. Here I go into Raikou, as I believe he goes for the Stealth Rocks. Yes, he does go for the Stealth Rocks. Perfect for me, so I get a free swap in. And here I'm going to predict him to go into his Dhelmise. And I believe I go for the Shadow Ball here. It might be the Kyurem, I'm not sure. It is the Dhelmise here, so I get a good prediction off. It's going to do a giant chunk. It's not going to be enough to 2-hit KO, enough for a 3-hit KO, but it's still good for me. Now, I don't know if this thing was Assault Vested or not. I'm not quite sure. She didn't really send me his sets. I go for the Volt Switch, just to get some damage off and be able to swap into Dragonite. As I believe he goes for the Power Whip, and I take a Stealth Rocks there because it hurts. And he does go for the Power Whip, so that's 4 times resisted. I take it pretty well. I'm still toxic, so this Dragonite, I don't really need it all that much, so it doesn't really matter. Arcanine's probably going to be the star of the show anyways. Now I'm going to go into Raikou again, predicting him to go into his Skarmory on the Dragonite, which I believe baits him fairly well. And he does go back into Skarmory, which is very good for me. Very good. And here, he's probably going to think I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt here. I believe I actually go for an Aura Sphere, predicting either Crocodile or the Kyurem Black to come in. And he does go into the Kyurem Black, so it's going to get some hefty damage off on this thing, and it's pretty good for me. It's pretty good. I'm getting some really good predictions off this entire game. It does at least 60% to that thing. Maybe like 55, but it's still great for me. Now, I don't want to stay in here because the way he brought it in makes me think that he's Scarfed. I'm going to go into Tapu Fini just for safety because I can swap into this thing even if it's Adamant. A Bolt Strike will hurt, but if it's Choice Scarfed, it's going to lock itself into probably Earth Power. And it does go for the Earth Power. I take that fairly well, so it's kind of nice. Here, I think I go for the Defog as he goes into his Tentacruel, which is fine for me. I do get the Stealth Rocks away, and that's perfect because Arcanine wants to do damage. I really want to get my Stealth Rocks up, but I don't really see any openings to have Nidoqueen come in. I could potentially bring it in on this Tentacruel, but then I'm going to die to a Scald anyways. So, kind of an issue. I'm just going to go into Raikou just to kind of threaten this Tentacruel out. And he goes for the Sludge Wave, and I take it fairly well. It's not doing more than half, so it's not a 2-hit KO, and I believe I still outspeed it, fairly certain. And I think I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt here, because regardless of what comes in, even if it's the Kyurem Black, it's going to do some decent damage to it. And he actually decides to bring in his Celeste, which is the Dhelmise, and it's perfect for me, because, you know, I can just go Shadow Ball next turn. Still don't know what item this is. Maybe it's Assault Vested. Assault Vest, Rapid Spin, Power Whip, Earthquake, and Anchor Shot or Steel Anchor. I don't know what its ability or its move is. So I do go for the Shadow Ball and it's going to take it out. It's fine for me. Very good for me. I'm getting very, very good predictions this game. Getting some safe plays that I can make because I can afford it. Now my Misty Terrain is going to disappear. Now he's going to bring in Crocodile, and that's going to make me think that he's Choice Scarfed. Still not quite sure if he's Choice Scarfed or not, but I'm going to swap out, and I'm going to go into my Dragonite because I don't really need it at this point. And if he does go for the Earthquake, I get a free swap in. If he does go for the knockoff, Dragonite's dead. It's Death Fodder anyways, so it doesn't change anything because I was originally sacking it in because it was Death Fodder. Now I'm going to bring in Tapu Fini, because if he is choiced, he's gonna swap out here. He's gonna go into something else, and I fairly certain I go for the Nature's Madness. And I think I miss it here. I'm pretty sure I missed the Nature's Madness. Yes, I do miss the Nature's Madness, which is unfortunate, but it really doesn't matter all that much. It's still fine either way. It's good for me regardless, because now I'm gonna just swap out and I'm gonna go into my Porygon 2, which can take any hit, and I can what's with everyone trying to whirlpool my Tapu Fini? Ever since Rai did it, everyone's tried to do it. Everyone tries to trap Tapu Fini in, which I guess is fine. It's a good way to try and handle it, but still. Here I'm gonna go for Thunderbolt. It's gonna do a decent amount of damage, and I actually get a crit here, which did matter because the max roll I could have got was 60%, and he was at like 75%. So it doesn't matter. Also here, I can afford to get knocked off because this is Porygon 2. Doesn't really need to be around anymore. Tapu Fini handles pretty much the Cure in Black, so I don't need to worry about it. I'm just gonna go for the Ice Beam and kill this thing. So that's 2 kills for Porygon 2 this game, which is really nice. Very good. Now he's gonna bring in his Snowflake, which for me is kind of an issue because it's gonna kill me, and I still don't know what set this is. I'm fairly certain it's Choice Scarf with the way he's been playing it, but Chi has been known to bluff Scarfs before. He does have a Focus Blast, so we've seen Earth Power, Focus Blast, and I'm fairly certain he has Fusion Bolt and probably some type of Dragon coverage. Maybe Dragon Claw, maybe he's a mixed Scarf set. You never know. So, since I can bring in Tapu Fini here, I'm free to just do whatever. And here, I go for the... Pretty sure I go for the Nature's Madness, just trying to get rid of this thing sturdy, so I can then bring in Arcanine and go for the Agility. Which, you know, is still fine for me, either way. So now, I'm going to swap out into my Arcanine and go for the Agility, as I believe he goes for the Stealth Rocks. I'm kind of certain. Actually, no. This is when he reveals he has Icy Wind. And it's a pain in the ass, because now, if that, I'm not Jolly, I'm Adamant. So if that, that stupid Cure in Black is Naive or any type of speed Scarf set, I need to get 2 agilities off. So that's an issue for me. I do get my agility off as he does go for the Stealth Rocks. I could have killed it from here, and I'm not certain whether or not an extreme speed would have killed the Cure in Black. Either way, since he had the Icy Wind, I just kind of go for the agility again as he goes for the roost and gets himself back up to full. And now the issue here being that I'm gonna Flare Blitz and my health is gonna go super down as he swaps out into his Ambipom. Love Ambipom, by the way. Laszlo's an okay name for it. And it's gonna die to this Flare Blitz because nothing's taking a Flare Blitz from an Adamant Life Orb Arcanine. Now, if I had Morning Sun or Wild Charge, Morning Sun probably would have been better in this situation anyways. He's gonna bring out Child Catcher, which kind of sucks for me. I'm gonna go for the Flare Blitz, and it's gonna bring me down. It's gonna bring him down to his Sturdy, and I was really hoping to have it broken, which I didn't have it broken, which kind of sucks. And he's just gonna go for the Roost again to make me kill myself to Life Orb damage and recoil. So it's okay at this point because even if I kill this thing, Tapu Fini can take a Fusion Bolt from the Cure in Black, and if he's Scarfed like I think he is, it doesn't change anything because Raikou could just then come in and go for the Aura Sphere because he's locked into Fusion Bolt and I could take it. So I killed myself to the recoil there, which is completely fine, as he's going to bring in Kieran Black, and I'm going to bring in Tapu Fini. And I'm just going to go for Moonblast, and that's going to be a 3-0 victory for me. Now, this game would have mattered. By the way, spoilers coming up right now, so if you don't want to see it, go watch Eric's game. If Eric had lost his game against Shroom, I would have gotten 3rd place and been in the playoff match. If not, then I just get 4th place straight out. So the season we're finishing 7-4, 4th place with a -2 differential. One of my better seasons, but still not quite up to par as I wanted it to be. I kind of just shit out on a couple of games, which really kind of sucks. But thank you for watching, guys. As always, stay awesome, keep playing Pokemon, and I will see you guys in the next season of the PPL. Later.